Episode 60, here we go. We got Marvel, we got DC, we got Amazon Attack, we got The Punisher, and we got Ghost Machine. Check it out. Alright, welcome back to the channel, everybody. We are going to talk about some comics today with your host, Frank Zenka. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, hopefully getting back into the situation here in Atlanta as far as filming is concerned, if IATSE doesn't decide to strike. But before we get into it, make sure to like and subscribe. I am trying to grow the channel out. If you like comics, if you like movies, if you like board games, then this is the channel for you because I do it all over here. And on top of that, I just want to show you my new addition to my collection. I had to piece him together, but this is my Ethan Hunt Tom Cruise figure. I had to buy the clothes and the body and the head and everything else completely separately, the gun. But I think it turned out pretty well. Looks pretty good. So I'll put him back over here. But anyway, so let's jump right into these comics here. And we are going to start with DC, like we always do. We go DC, Marvel, and Independent, in this case, Image Comics. I'm going to start with Amazon's Attack. Yes, they do. So this is the storyline that's going in parallel to Wonder Woman by Tom King. I hate the story, as if you've been watching my previous episodes. I think the story of Amazon's coming here in droves makes no sense. They're not coming here for men. They're coming here for women, which makes even less sense because they have women, they have thousands and 10,000 women over there. They're coming here for whatever reason. And that's all we see is lesbian romances throughout all these books. So it doesn't make any sense. They wouldn't be here if they came here. They'd look around and they'd go home. They live on literally Paradise Island. They would not come to this piece of shithole and stay here. It just doesn't make any sense. Then on top of that, one of them committed murder. One of Amazon committed murder. And then the government said all Amazons have to leave. That makes no sense either. That's like saying, okay, an Italian committed murder, so all Italians have to leave. It doesn't make any sense. None of this makes any sense. And we'll get into the Wonder Woman stuff when we actually see the next issue, where you can see my back reviews on Wonder Woman. But this runs in parallel to that, and I kind of wish it was on its own. I wish that this had nothing to do with that, because these characters kind of work well together. This is written by Josie Campbell. She starts to go into all of the political crap to begin with, and then she kind of pulls back. So thankfully, like the first page of this is a good girl versus an Amazon. That's what she's reading here. That's what Yara Flor is reading here. So, and I'm going to put it up on the screen here. But it says, a good girl is compliant and an Amazon is not. And Amazon is rude, and a good girl only speaks when spoken to. And I'm like, what is going on here? And an Amazon frowns, and a good girl smiles, and this is how you know if it's an Amazon. And I'm like, what is going on here? So thankfully, after this first page, we never hear about that crap again, and she kind of shies away from the political things that she's kind of throwing in here. So we start out with Nubia, who's kind of under control, I think, of the apple at this point, and she's seeing all these visions, and she's getting guilted, and, you know, there's Hippolyta's on Themyscira, kind of telling her she's not a great queen, and that all this stuff is burning because of her, and all this other stuff. And then we found out that Eris is on, it's kind of stuck to a tree. So they were blaming it on her, but she's dead. So we don't really know who it belongs to right now or who the thing is. And then Yara, check this out. Yara Flor, she's like looking at these Amazon safe houses, and there's a woman sleeping right there. She doesn't check on the woman. She doesn't see if the woman is alive or dead or not. She just walks right past her. Wow, this is... Maybe that thing is right about the Amazons being rude. So she goes into the room and she sees all this thing called Asylum, and then somebody sneaks up behind her, so she throws her little bolo. And my favorite character in here is actually Cassie Sandsmark, which is one of the Wonder Girls. And she said, "Whoa, whoa, it's me!" And they look around at the thing, and then somebody blows a hole there, and the soldiers come in to collect them, and Cassie's being all mischievous because that's how Amazons are. That's how you can tell a difference, between a good girl and Amazon. And she goes, "Let's go take the secret exit." And Yara Flor's like, "What secret exit? What are you talking about?" And she goes, "Secret exit!" And she blangs through it. That's pretty funny. I gotta say, that's pretty funny. And then the look on her face is just like, "Yes, I'm being bad." Meanwhile, Mary is still stuck in the prison, and so the whole thing was that she couldn't change because of all the cameras. So she couldn't say Shazam and change because the cameras would pick her up and know who she is, and yet she does it anyway. So I don't understand that whole thing, but she's up against some kind of Count Vertigo type situation, and she's like, and that's not going to Aquaman, type of thing, but and that's what it's like. And then we have Cassie and Yara come save her, and she's like, "Secret entrance!" And Yara's like, "You can't call it a secret entrance by blowing a hole in the wall." And then Yara's kind of getting blasted by whatever that Count Vertigo thing is. And the artwork's okay. It's a little cartoony, but I like it. And I like all the action happening. I like the characters' camaraderie together. And again, Mary changes, even though they said she couldn't, because that was the whole thing. And she says Shazam, and she kind of blows the whole hole in the ceiling or whatever. And they said, "Get ready to get out," and she blows that up. And then Cassie flies them away. And I kind of like the eyes just kind of poking over the side of her head and stuff like that. I think that's kind of nice. So, I really don't know. Oh, here's all the stuff with, her with Themyscira and Hippolyta and all that stuff going on. And this is where Faruka finds that she's there with the bunny, Hoppy. That's what the bunny's called, is Hoppy, and he talks. And he's also a teleporter, so he's kind of like Lockjaw. And I think that's the DC's version of Lockjaw. And anyway, so they find Eris, and she's pretty dead. And then we have Peacemaker show up with Nubia at gunpoint, and she's also got a laser, pointed at her and all this stuff. So I really like this issue, especially the Cassie Sandsmark stuff with the secret entrance and secret exit stuff. I liked all that. I like how there's kind of 3 different storylines going on simultaneously. Again, that's why I wish that this had nothing to do with Tom King's piece of shit that's going on. I like this a lot better, although when Josie starts going into the political stuff, I'm like, oh no. And that's why with the first page, I was like, oh, I'm going to hate this issue. But thankfully, that was the only thing we saw was that first issue, that first page. And that's because she's linking it to Tom King's crap. So anyway, I like the Eris storyline, and I'm waiting to see where that goes. We're into issue 4, and we really haven't gotten any progression of story at this point. But I like Eris being dead, and I like them being hunted by Peacemaker and stuff like that. I think that all works. So we'll just make a good, and plus to have the Amazons and Mary together, even though it's like an all-woman team, I like it. Especially when Birds of Prey is such crap right now. So I like this a lot. I think it would make a good television show, whatever, if we wanted to do an all-female series or whatever. So, all right, so let's jump into The Punisher, issue 3. This is by Pepose. So this is, it even says it up on top. The man is different. The mission remains the same, which means there's no reason for this book whatsoever. Why did you call it The Punisher? That's the biggest problem with this book is you should have just created a new character. Okay, he has his, correlation to the Punisher, but it doesn't need to be the Punisher, and that's why everybody's rejecting this book. And not everybody would have rejected it if you had a new character. So, yes, you would have had less sales because nobody would have recognized the character. However, you're getting less now because everybody's rejecting it because you're stealing the Punisher. So anyway, he's wounded. Again, his family was killed. They find out that that his wife was really the target. These cops are after him. He's a SHIELD agent. He's wounded. He has lights on his chest, so you can't really hide. So he goes into this warehouse and he finds the DC or the Marvel version, I should say, of Scarecrow, which is Fearmonger or something to that effect. Fearmaster. So it's she's like a snake, I guess. So it's Fearmaster. And they realize that they're back up. They get a call that they're back up. I think the artwork's pretty good. I like the coloring on that. That the backup is going to be 30 minutes away. So they're like, screw that, man. We're going to have to go in. And she attacks the Punisher, which I hate even saying that. And he starts to see his dead family, which I think is kind of creepy. And she attacks him while he's having these visions. And that Doctor Strange thing looks pretty good. I've been on and off of Doctor Strange because then in one it's good and then the next one is bad. But anyway, so he takes out some dynamite, blows some shit up, and his I guess his version of Microchip is kind of reading his heart things and showing that he's dead, and he's seeing all these things. And she's like, I have you now. And I heard this was god-awful, the whole Jackpot thing. I think I bought the Signature series, but I heard it was just god-awful. But anyway, so we find out one of the cops has been killed, and then she sneaks up behind the other one, leaving the Punisher the chance to try to get out of the funk that he's in. So again, some of the artwork is creepy. I like it. And somebody sneaking up behind the Microchip character there, the female Microchip. She turns around and blasts them. And we find out that the Fearmaster person is actually hoarding all these bodies that she's doing experiments on. And I think that Skull, the wife Skull character, is pretty cool. And yeah, this is where the heartbeat goes. And she's about to kill him. So I don't know why his heartbeat is attached to the lights in the chest, but they're off and then they burn on. And as she's about to eat the other guy, I don't know if she eats people, but it sounds like she eats people. He gets a second wind, jumps through the thing, tackles her, and see, this is actually a pretty good issue. But again, it's because it's the Punisher. It has a bad taste in everybody's mouth. But I kind of like the villain. I kind of like the cops there, the whole bit. And I guess he snaps. This is the last time you're going to see Fearmaster. She gets her neck snapped. And he holds a gunpoint on her. You're under arrest. But he's like, nope, look at all this. This is all the shit that's going on. These are the people that killed my wife and my family. It wasn't me. And I guess they're going to team up. But they find out it's like a jigsaw puzzle. And he's like, what is that? And they have captured, on the other side, they have captured the Microchip character. And Paul Reiser's going to write a comic? Because he's an actor in Aliens, he knows how to write it. I don't know. That's weird. So this is the new version of Jigsaw. I don't know. So I don't think this is that bad, but again, it would not make a good film and television show because of the fact that you're going to have the real Punisher, Frank Castle, is always going to be. That's why they should have done a different name here. So at least if they wanted to break it off to a Disney Plus Marvel show, they could have done it. But now they can't do it because the Punisher, you're not going to do a brand new Punisher. It's not going to work. All right, let's move on to the last one here. This is a big fatty. This is Ghost Machine. It was only $5 they bought it, but this is more like something you'd get at Free Comic Book Day because all it is a sampler. And if I knew it was a sampler, I probably wouldn't have got it. So it's a sampler of all the new comics that are coming out through Image under this imprint of Ghost Machine, I guess kind of led by Jeff Johns. So I don't know if he's leaving DC or how's that working. The artwork is pretty good throughout, but this one's about Geiger, and I'm just going to go through this quickly because there's really no story, but we get to know about this Geiger thing. He had cancer. He has a two-headed dog. There's a cure for him, so he's going. I mean, the artwork's really nice. So he meets this guy, and he says, tell me whatever, or I'm going to have the dog kill you. And the guy, follows him around. But he said now we lead into the second guy, which is this red coat guy who is like Highlander, where he's immortal, and then there's other people from history that are immortal. Like Davy Crockett and Annie Oakley and this guy called the Northerner and stuff like that. So I don't know. I mean, again, the artwork's good, but do I really have to know about a red coat? I don't know. So yeah, again, I'm just gonna run through this here quickly. And of course, we have Junkyard Joe, which is the robot army guy. I didn't read any of this. I haven't read any Geiger. I haven't read any Junkyard Joe. I haven't read any of this. And then they go on and just give little tidbits of information, which I glazed through. Red coat, there's the Northerner guy. And again, there's President Nash. And then we go into the next storyline. So we're already out. They give us like 2-3 pages. They give us all this stuff with bios, and then they move on. Of all the ones that I saw, this was actually the most interesting. This is, so you have a helmet in this world, and the helmet allows you to control certain animals. So that allows him to, I don't want to say pigs, but whatever, like Pumbaa was. And he's controlling like crows or whatever, rooks, but they're kind of like crows. So he falls in the water. Again, the artwork is gorgeous. And they get out of the water, and they find out, yeah, so you look at, so this is like a post-apocalyptic one. And there's traps that are set, and I guess the woman they're looking for is standing over them. It almost feels like Mad Maxy. So there's Rook and there's Swine. And then Direwolf is the female one, which I think she looks good. Choose your animal! Anyway, I think that's pretty cool. And then we get on to this thing. I don't know what this one's called. It's not called Family Odysseys, but it's about this family from the future that's here in the present. And the mother is still in the future, so she has like a robotic body. And each one of them, of course, is kind of doing their own thing. So he's having like a more modern family problem where he wants them to eat together, blah, blah, blah. And they all want to order something like to have delivered. He's like, no, we're going to go out. And they called them the Rocket Fellers. Instead of the Rockefellers, it's kind of like the Jetsons. I don't know. Of all the ones, I think this is the my least favorite. This almost is like a sitcom situation going on. So they get all into the thing, and he's like, "Somebody's following us," and the father goes, "Oh no, he's not gonna follow us! I'm gonna throw this ball at him," and he's like, "I'm a kid." And they stop right before they hit a moving train. And the guy says, "Yeah, you dropped your wallet, motherfucker. Stop fucking running me and throwing balls at me. I'm trying to do you a favor." And he's like, "Oh, sorry. Sorry." So, yeah. It's called The Rockefellers. That's what it's called. Continued in The Rockefellers. Okay, man. And then we get another sitcom of this family. So you have two different families in this one. One has this redheaded girl, and she apparently has, flame powers. And the father's really nice to her, right? And they're both, the boy has a really crappy family, which I'm really surprised they made her like black. But anyway, she says, if you don't hit a run, then we're gonna leave you there. We don't care if you win or lose, but you've got to make a run because they have money riding on the game. So if he doesn't help get them money, then they're leaving him at the thing. So she's pitching to him, and she pitches it so hard that he breaks the bat, and it's a metal bat apparently, because I don't think wood would do that. So she hits. So he gets struck out. So, of course, he's going to get left there. And Mommy and Daddy were not going to be happy. And she throws this major thing, and he, almost levitates to catch it. And, they know each other. And we find out, and, sure enough, they leave him behind. And there's the umpire or whatever else is watching both of them. Then we go back to the Rockefellers. But anyway, so we find out, here it is. We find out that she's a demon and he's an angel. And to keep the peace in heaven, they decided to swap families. So the angel is given to the demon family, and the demon is given to the angel family. So it's kind of like the apocalypse thing with Darkseid. I think Darkseid, New Gods, I think they did that. So then we got this Hyde Street, and we see all of these old kind of, sea monkeys and all this stuff. And we have this guy that's like a Hollywood producer in Georgia, which I can relate to, although I don't act like that. And the guy says, I'm lost my hotel, and the little boy says, I can help you. And he's like, get away from me, kid. Get away from me, kid. And I guess, I don't know what any of that is. I don't know. But we go back into the 80s, which I kind of like. But anyway, he gets run over. He kicks the dog, and he gets hit by I don't know what the hell's going on even here. But yeah, here's the different types. You have Rook, you got the Geiger, and the Red Coat. I might try the Red Coat one. And try the Rook one, but that's the only two that I have any bearing on. So I don't have any idea whether these make good movies or television shows, because I don't know what they do. I mean, two sitcoms and a couple of action ones, apocalyptic. I don't know. I'm gonna reserve right on that because having 2 pages of story. But I can tell you right now, the Rockefellers, nobody's gonna go with that. The other one, the Angel and Demon one, I don't know if that's been done before, but that one might make a good, sitcom. So Punisher, no, because you'd have to do the original Punisher, although I thought this issue is actually better. I know I'm probably in a minority on that one. And Amazon's Attack, I like this issue a lot. So, she didn't really jump too far into the deep end. All right, so that's it for me. Remember to like and subscribe. Give me the thumbs up. Give me a middle finger, whatever. And make sure you click the bell. I'm trying to grow the channel out, so if you can help me there. But if you're not subscribed, why the hell not? It's free. Just click it. But anyway, thank you so much. I've been building out today the late pledge for Lords of LA. So look for that within the next week or so. And Mark Spears and I are, going balls to the wall on the Riftstorm Classic Monsters card game. And I had a call today with marketing and stuff like that. So next couple of months, I'm going to be launching that. So look out for that as well. It's going to be awesome. Still doing play testing. I finally got my new cards in this week. So exciting. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. You guys have a great weekend. And I will see you on episode 61. All right. Talk to you guys later.